Hey, so y'all want to talk about some yarn? Let's talk about yarn. Okay, so I am making a couple of baby blankets for some friends of mine, and her kids are big University of Tennessee athletic fans. So the two colors I picked are the orange and white, which are the University of Tennessee school colors. I went to my local Hobby Lobby. I wanted to go pick out the orange yarn myself. I wanted to see it in person because this is such a very specific shade of orange that choosing this color online can be incredibly difficult because it could be too light or it could be too dark. And thankfully they had the color in stock that I needed. This is the I Love This Yarn in the sport weight. This is very soft 100% acrylic yarn. Now this yarn, it is made in Turkey. The color is just orange. And here is the information that you might want to know. We've got 210 meters, 230 yards, 71 grams, and this is a 2.5 ounce ball. This is 100% acrylic. It is a lightweight 3. You can wash it, you can dry it, no iron, no bleach, and you can also dry and clean this. This skein of yarn is $2.49 on the shelf at Hobby Lobby. Now, let me tell you, I feel that that is completely fair for what this yarn is. I have worked with this yarn a lot over the past weeks. I have made 2 blankets with it and 0 problems. It has got a very nice twist to the yarn, which really helps. Like, it's twisted loosely enough that it's still soft, but it's twisted tightly enough that I have had 0 problems with splitting when it comes to working with this yarn. This yarn is just, it is so nice. And what makes this even better, if you go to Hobby Lobby's website and check their ad, every other week, all of their yarn is 30% off. If you waited till the 30% off week, pay less than $2 a ball for this yarn. Now, to make the size of the baby blanket that I made, because based on the pattern, I actually made my blanket larger than the pattern calls for. And I did that purposely because I wanted them to to be able to grow into this blanket. I wanted it to be a transitional piece. I didn't want it to just be a small baby blanket. To make the size of blanket that I'm making here, I needed 5 balls of the I Love This Yarn sport weight. So we should talk about the pattern, right? This pattern, I downloaded it for free from the Yarnspirations website. It is from Daisy Farm Crafts. If you have not heard of Daisy Farm Crafts, you should absolutely go to their YouTube channel, check them out, go to their blog, check them out. They make the most adorable baby blankets in this entire world. Another thing about this pattern that is just great is it is so easy. It is a 2-row repeat. You have 1 row of these little bobbles here, and then you have 1 row of single crochet. So it's a 2-row repeat. Each color block is 8 rows long. So that means I'm going to have 4 bobbles in each color block. So I've been working with this from my phone. So here we have it here. It's Daisy Farm Crafts. The designer is Hannah Brown McKay. This is a crochet skill level easy, and we are using a lightweight 3, and there's their example, the colors they used. And the name of this blanket is the Fruity Stripes Crochet Baby Blanket. Again, this pattern is free on the Yarnspirations website. And it is really nice because on the one side you've got these bobbles, so it's this really nice texture, and on the back side it's flat. All right, friends, we have finished with the orange and talked about how amazing the I Love This Yarn sport weight 100% acrylic is. Now let's talk about what I used for the white, because these are not the same yarns. This is the Yarn Bee brand, which is another house brand from the Hobby Lobby. And this is the Simply Flawless. Now, the reason that I picked this yarn, 1, it is super soft. This is also a DK weight yarn. However, I feel like this yarn has just a bigger element of plumpness to it while you're working with it. Nothing significant compared to the sport weight, but it does have more of an element of plumpness to it to me. Okay, so let's talk about this. This yarn is also made in Turkey. This is just the color white. And here are our specs. We have 384 meters, 420 yards, 198 grams. This is a 7-ounce ball. This is a big ball of yarn. And this is 100% low pill acrylic. That is what drew me when I picked this up. If this Simply Flawless line made this color of orange, I would have bought this in that too, because I wouldn't have had to buy as many balls. I think I bought 3 balls just to be on the safe side, because this blanket uses more of the orange than it does the white. This is, you know, this ball is like 2 times bigger than the other one. Now it is more expensive. It's $6.99. However, like I said, if you will go to Hobby Lobby's website, check their ad for the week, see if it's the week that the yarn is 30% off, because they do that every other week. You're going to get 30% off of this $6.99, and that is going to make this $4.83 a skein for 420 yards of low pill acrylic that is super soft. Now this yarn, part of the reason why I feel that it is plumper and softer than the other yarn. First, with it being the low pill acrylic, I think that acrylic has some sort of a coating on it, that like a pre-treater, that helps keep that pilling from happening. This yarn also doesn't have that tight spin on it that the I Love This Yarn Sport Weight has on it. This yarn is not spun as tightly, so it is softer because it doesn't have that tight spin on it, but I had to deal with more splitting with this yarn than I did with the orange yarn. Now, that's not to say the splitting was terrible. It wasn't terrible, but it's still a fantastic yarn, and I would absolutely use this, especially if I get it a week that it's on sale and I can just go to my store and get it and I'm not having to pay shipping or anything. Okay, so I don't know if you all can tell here, but this yarn, where it's not spun as tightly, it does feel like it's bigger, even though it is a lightweight 3. It does feel a little bit bigger, but it's nothing. Okay, see right there, perfect example of the splitting. I have to slow down when I'm using the Simply Flawless just because of that splitting. But it is not enough of a headache nor enough of an annoyance to prevent me from using this yarn again. Oop, found a knot. So I've not really had any trouble with this. I think this is the second time in the 2 blankets that I've made that this has happened. Now, one good thing with crochet is we can hide knots really easily. I usually always do this little magic knot join, but I should be able to hide that in there, no problem. Yeah, I feel it coming. Oh, there it is. Oop, yep, it slid right in there. That knot that I just made, that magic knot, is right there. Is right there. You can barely see it. Like, you can't even hardly see that. And you really can't even feel it. I'm very much a fan of both of these yarns from Hobby Lobby, and I completely appreciate the fact that Hobby Lobby puts their yarn on sale every other week at 30% off. I think Hobby Lobby's yarn is very nice. I'm a fan of it. Yeah, and see, I'm picking up my speed here a little bit again. So you can see the splitting is minimal with this. It happens. I think this is a good place to stop. This showed you guys what this yarn is like to work with. So in conclusion, the Yarn Bee Simply Flawless and the I Love This Yarn Sport Weight yarn, these two can be used together in a project. They go together just fine. They're both DK weights. This one has just a bit more plumpness to it than this one, because this yarn has a bit of a tighter spin to it than this one does, which means this one you may have a little bit more splitting action happening. This one has not split on me at all whatsoever. They're both very soft. They are both an absolute pleasure to work with. I cannot recommend this yarn enough. It's great.